Welcome back to another episode of Uncut and Uncensored. And today I'm joined by my ghastly husband, who is sat there looking at me with terrible eyes. This is the perfect time to do a couples podcast.
It's actually horrible time to do a couples podcast right now.
I went into the office and threw out his papers.
Literally, like, do I go into your office or closet or whatever, make a place and just throw everything and give everything away to everybody? No, these are my things that I collected for years and I put it there for a reason.
Amy, that's not what we're talking about today. So now that that's off your chest, we're going to be discussing how to be married to an entrepreneur. And actually, well, there you go. We work together and we work at home together. Okay. And I'm a neat freak and he's a hoarder. If we had 9 to 5 jobs, do you honestly think our marriage might be easier?
We will never last. Never last. We will die literally in the first 2 weeks.
First 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I always say the biggest cause of divorce in relationships is when you work 9 to 5 jobs, the husband builds a completely life different than the wife, different friends, different day-to-day routine. So then you start losing what you have or might have in common. So then when you get together, there's nothing to talk about. You cannot talk about family, you cannot talk about business, you cannot talk about life because you build a completely different life. And then slowly the relationship dies. And then you get to a point that after a year, bye-bye. You don't have anything to talk about. So what's next? And that's when divorce happens.
I have to say, I'm unlearning all the rules I've been taught my entire life because I would have said working together was the death sentence. And now having done it with you for almost, how many, 9 years, 8 years, I actually agree with you. And I can't believe I'm saying that. That actually hurts.
You agree with me?
I agree with you.
Wait, can I listen to that again?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh my God.
I would
That's amazing.
say having the same goals and having the same, wanting the same outcome and seeing all the beautiful things around us, for us, is what spurs us on.
The vision. I think the vision is the most important. Even 2 days ago, we had one of the biggest meetings of our life, and we were upstairs. It was late night in Dubai. We set up everything and we were upstairs kind of like getting ready for it. And it was actually a big deal for us. And, there was something inside me that was like, oh my God, what a beautiful part of the journey that I'm doing this with my wife, taking this and trying to get to where we want to go, doing it together. I think, honestly, there's nothing more rewarding than doing it with the person that you love. And I think that's the beauty about being an entrepreneur and sharing and having the same vision and goals together.
And lately, actually, especially on the podcast, I've interviewed some really successful founders and they're all husband and wife teams. Now, they may have different roles and that one may be more front forward and one may be behind the scenes, but they all work together. Look at that woman, Leonie Hamon, the influencer. She became the biggest one. Her husband's the cameraman. He does everything behind her.
Kind of like me, actually.
Yeah. Look at Poppy.
Yeah.
Same thing. She will say that, she gets all the glory, but they really were the team. And, I do, because I guess I'm older, I get a lot of the glory. People automatically think it's all me. And I always try and say it's not. But, it's just common practice because I'm the face of it. And, Sergio's really good about that. So I think, when we achieve our goals and get the things we want and go on the trip and do all these things, we're going together. Mm-hmm. We've made it together. Like everyone's like, we don't have really a separate bank account.
Everything goes to the same pot, and I think that's the beauty about when you find someone that you trust, that you see yourself building a life and a vision together. You just put everything on the same place and you say, look, I'm just doing it for the team.
I mean, what do you think the hardest part about being married to someone who doesn't switch off? Because we don't switch off.
No, but I think it works for us because we are the same. Even yesterday when we finished at 10 at night, after literally the whole day, then I stayed until 1 a.m. because I was have to do some posts, editing, whatever. So I think it's just about really being passionate and feeling in love with the journey.
I thought you were going to say me for a minute.
No, not you, my friend. This time.
He does. I'll fall asleep with my phone in my hand and he'll take it and sort of,
Yesterday, actually, I did that. I give you a little kiss and then
Yeah.
I put it aside because you shouldn't sleep with your phone next to you. I always tell people, don't sleep with the phone next to you because of all the radiation. Very important, my friend.
okay, whatever.
Turn the
He's
Wi-Fi off.
become that guy. It's
No,
so annoying.
I'm not that guy, baby. It's important for your health and
But
your brain.
anyway, we get so it doesn't seem like work. We had a girlfriend of ours who's actually investing in our business. She wanted to come over and finish the contract. And I had to say no. And I've been saying no because we had these calls to take and we took them together. And we're the first thing is the guy comes on the phone and he took one look at us and he said, "You two look so
Yeah,
cute."
so cute, actually. He said that.
Yeah, he said that. And that's a guy that's, we don't know who's investing in our company.
It's so good.
And it was his initial thing. So I think, everything I've learned before, I'm unlearning. Doing business with friends, not with my, taught never to do it with your husband. It's all with my husband. And I think, being open at this age to change your thought process and what we've been taught, because societal rules today simply don't work. It doesn't work.
If you would have to choose between slowing down in your business or sacrificing your relationship, what would you choose?
Oh, that's a hard one.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh my God.
Come on, honey.
Well, it wouldn't happen, Danny. The thing about being married to younger is that you're just as hungry. I think, I chose you for all those reasons. If I was married to an older man who is possibly my age or a couple of years older, of course, he's probably looking to have a quieter life.
Do
right?
you think every partner who is in the process of building should find someone who is willing to sacrifice?
Yeah, I mean, if it wouldn't work if I didn't want to work.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it would now, and I do foresee a time that I will be ready to slow down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that you will pick up the pace.
What's
for
something
me.
that you would say you had to sacrifice in your career before me in order to put your business first?
Oh, tons of things.
Tell me what are the biggest three things.
I think I sacrificed friendships. I sacrificed my time with my children. But I don't see it as a sacrifice. I also, by the way, loathe that word.
Mm-hmm.
Loathe the world. I didn't sacrifice it. What am I talking about? It was just, there's no work-life balance. My kids would come to the office after school and run around. They actually used to love it. Because they would go and sit at the desks, help people order. They would go into the stock room, steal everything.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. That's why I think it is amazing to have, an entrepreneur in the family. I mean, even two entrepreneurs, husband and wife, because you can blend it into your whole family lifestyle. And I think that's the beauty about doing what we're doing.
But it's also about retraining your mind, because people put it out there as a sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice if you turn it into fun.
No, exactly. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And people think that we are not working.
Yeah.
But we're actually working, but making it fun.
Actually, that was a very interesting quote just there, because someone came up to me on my retreat and she said exactly those words. I have done a lot of healing over the time, because obviously she had sacrificed herself for her work. She said she'd lost her friends and all this. She goes, "This is the most fun, but with the biggest breakthrough retreat I've ever been on."
No way.
Because, she's like, "Why does healing have to be so bloody miserable? Why do I have to spend the whole time crying?" She's like, "I am loving this.
Yeah.
I'm connecting with people. I'm having fun. I'm learning what I've done wrong and what to change, or maybe I could change to have a better life." And so I feel fulfilled and I feel like I got what I needed, but I'm feeling happy. And that's one of the biggest things. I think that people have conditioned ourselves that to heal, we need to be miserable. To own a business, you need to be miserable. Why? The business should be your biggest joy in life.
100%. So if you want to join the retreat, next one is in Maldives. Click on the link below.
Oh my God, you are too funny. And I think that's, really important to remember. If you build a life and not two separate lives, that's the biggest joy. And my kids see it every day. They have absolutely understood that I will work all day and all night, but they've understood what we're off now to Paris, then we're going to Saint-Tropez. Like, how does that happen? And you know,
and at the same time, we're gonna keep working and working. I mean, we're gonna be in London, Saint-Tropez, Paris, Monaco, but we're gonna, you know, like, things never stop, but you just blend it into your family, your lifestyle, and you make, you know, a beautiful journey part of it. And that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur, the freedom that gives you, but it comes with a lot of consequences, which is, you know, there's no really any schedule. You have to work 24/7 and being available all the time. But I mean, I think, you know, we're willing to pay that price because it gives us so much more than you get a lot of stuff with it.
I think being available all the time is something, you know, I've learned now to switch off a little bit.
Do you?
I mean, not a lot.
No way. For me, for example, I absolutely love when you hire someone, because now, you know, I got almost like 40 people in Indonesia. And when you hire someone that is like not 24/7 available, because at the end it is your baby, you are as a founder, you really have passion, you know, for the project. They kind of work for you, but they are always almost available. I think that's amazing because, you know, at the end I want people to grow with us as well, you know. So, you know,
it just really irritates me if you can't. It takes 2 minutes to reply to a text. 2 minutes,
it's
and
so
that's
annoying.
when you get ahead of yourselves, right? Like, that's when you win in life. Is just reply. You don't have to do it right then. You can be busy, but like, I expect that for everyone that I work for. If I ask a question, answer me. That's it. You
literally.
know,
I mean, you are going to be looking at your phone at some point in the next 2 hours. There is no way you are not opening WhatsApp. So just answer 2 minutes if it's important, you know. If it's not important, I'm the first one who just leave it for the rest of the day. I don't really matter. You know, doesn't care. You know, I want to ask you as well, what's something that, you know, people think, you know, is glamorous about your life, but in reality is actually very difficult? It could be, you know, the, you know, working weekends, you know, the financial pressure, social media versus reality, maybe, or, you know, just
I think the whole
routine.
All of it.
Yeah.
You know, I think this lifestyle and this life does not come without fucking hard work behind it. I'm sorry. You know, of course it looks glamorous because I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful husband. I have 3 amazing children. That doesn't just happen. Sorry. In between, I got divorced. I lost everything. I rebuilt it. Every piece of art in there is, you know, here is a story. Every item, I know where I got it and who it was from or how I earned it. So that doesn't come without bloody hard work.
And it's not for everybody, I think. That is the biggest thing. Because
and this was built very quickly.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, I think, because I notice a lot when you talk to someone that they are not in the same mindset as yourself, that they're not an entrepreneur, you can tell how they want everything under control. And if you're an entrepreneur, everything changes within a minute. And you have to be able to adjust and pivot with anything. And chaos situations, they come, you know, left and right. You might have 50 things a day that doesn't go as you wanted, but you have to learn how to adjust to those. And when you talk to someone who is used to working corporate, they don't get that. They don't have that in their mindset. So they get stressed very easily. So you can see how people's behavior change. So that is, I think, you have to be built to be an entrepreneur. You have to be built for this hustle.
And you have to understand that, you know, the next job may not come or something, you know, doesn't work out for you. And so you have a lot more financial stress than I think anybody else because there is no guarantee income. There is none. And, you know, that doesn't mean that the bills don't need to be paid. They do. They have to be paid. And at the end of the day, there is only us and we are one business together. So if we don't perform, we don't get paid. It's as simple as that.
It's that simple. And the expenses keeps coming and the lifestyle keeps the same. Oh, it's bigger and gets bigger.
Gets bigger and bigger and bigger and we set off now.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's great because at the same time that
it pushes
us to make more and more and more. But, you know, you always have to be aware that things have to be covered and that, you know, we are not in that situation where you can just sit back. But I don't think anyone today is in a situation where you can just sit back. I know lots of people that got comfortable and now aren't comfortable.
I mean, I think that's one of the beautiful things about living in Dubai, that I would say 80% of the people, the foreigners living here, they are entrepreneurs. So they are used to the hustle. They are used to, being driven and creating ideas and bringing them to life. And I think that's really contagious. Like, you get addicted to that, because if you look at our friend group, most of them are entrepreneurs, and they are building, and they bring new things to life.
And that's why they take risks.
Exactly.
If we look, Sergio, at the people that invested in us first, that, were when we went to more big established companies that didn't want to do something like Bali, it was our friends who are entrepreneurs, who have, built things, that went, yeah, this sounds good, I'll take the risk, right?
Yeah.
And that's...
I mean, I want to ask you, what is something that you, before, the big company came, Gift Library and all that, before, did you invested in different businesses? Did you started other businesses? What was your kind of like background there before Gift Library?
No, I didn't invest. I invested in myself. I've always invested in myself. Before Gift Library, I had an even more successful business than Gift Library. And that's what was so funny.
What was it?
I had a styling company that Rania and I ran. There was only two of us. And I've always said it, careful what you wish for, because I had 80-something people. And the styling company almost gave us as much profit with two of us as 80 people.
Wow.
That's how big it was.
That's
in our
amazing.
early 20s.
That's something very interesting that Caroline always mentioned, that it's not really about the size of your company, it's more about how profitable it is. Because a lot of people, they have all these, let's say, restaurants, but in reality, the running cost is so high that there is not really profit left. And Caroline always says that sometimes it's better to just, keep a small size company with much bigger margins, because at the end it's so much more profitable.
And I didn't know that. And I was, desperate to become big, but big in whose eyes? I was already big. We were making so much money. It was a joke. And, and then what happens is really scaled big businesses take a lot of work and a lot of humans to make them run, and expensive humans.
Yeah.
And so, I think in the end, our business was eating over $500,000 a month, nearly, probably some months $1 million a month. Like it's serious money. And that stress, when I was making the same amount of money at the end of the year with just two of us, was nuts. So sometimes, but you don't know that until you know that.
Yeah,
no one
100%.
tells you that. So, and everyone used to walk into my beautiful offices with all my staff sitting there and going, wow, wow. And like when it was me and Rania at my table, no one even batted an eyelid. They had no idea we were making so much money.
But I think that happens quite often. Like you grow so much that then all the time you need to, the keep up with that comes with it. And it's so much bigger that at the end, it's just, I always say it's more for the show, because at the end, there's so many other ways to make the same amount of money that looks so much more smaller for the public than in reality, they're very profitable. You know what I mean? So you just need to be smart on how you make it work, right?
Yeah. 100%. And that's what I think the biggest thing with the retreats that we've learned is to keep it niche, keep it small, keep it to us. People love to be with us. We have brought in high ticket closers and people to talk to people, and nobody can do it like we do because they don't know the product like we do.
Yeah.
Like the product and what we're trying to achieve, because we're passionate about it. And we want to teach the ladies something, and it's not a job for us.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point, I could say, for any entrepreneur out there or someone who is trying to build anything. If you are passionate about anything, you can sell anything you want. Because that's kind of like, we know the product in and out, and we know what results produce. So it is just very easy for us to really tell someone what it does. And that's another, I think, advice that we can give you. Just, really be passionate about what you are doing.
And that, by the way, transcends anything, because even last night when we were having our last call with investors, they were like, we're investing in you. I mean, there's a ton of hotel projects right now, especially in Bali. Mm-hmm. Why us? Why now? It's because of us.
Yeah, people buy from people. And I always say, look, when I was 14 years old, the first ever money I made with football, it came 20,000 euros. And I, Luckily, you know, I didn't need the money at that time. So I was like, okay. So then I always was trying to find where can I put this money to generate anything. I found this guy in Morocco. I don't even know how. He was a tech guy, super smart, and I really believed on him. And I put that money straight away. I didn't even tell my parents. $20,000 euros. And then I forgot about it. I was having meetings with him, calls, but I really thought he was a genius. He created this program, you know, AI, when no one really knew about it. All of a sudden, he lost all the money. I was destroyed because I was a kid. But then I kept going, you know, I follow up with him. Later on, I mean, this is probably 10 years after, I get a text message from him. And he's like, hey, this is Diego. I made it. And I never forget that you believed on me when no one did. So please, can you come to Bulgaria? And I was like, what?
He goes to me, shall I go to Bulgaria? I'm like, I mean, what happens if they like kidnap you and kill you?
Arrive to the airport. There is all these like, you know, like a squad of cars, Porsche, you know, like all these crazy cars, all black, and all the security guys. They wait for me. They put me in, and I arrived to this crazy house. The guy made it happen. He tried 30 times after my investment, lost it all. The 31st time, he made it, and he became extremely wealthy, and he paid me back, you know, with so much more money. And actually, I will never forget, he closed the stores for me, like Philip Plain, and he got me literally everything. That's why I came back when I met Caroline with so much Philip Plain, because I was like, oh my God, what I'm doing with this.
Oh, well. Wish she could have chosen another store, but anyway.
I know, but I mean, that tells you an example of how, if you believe in people, it's going to come back to you, you know, because
the system,
you know,
is set up to put chains on us. The system and the old school way of thinking is set up to control us, to make us not want to be entrepreneurs, to make us, you know, scared to go out on our own, to make us, you know, think that it's 1% that make it. And maybe it's 1% that becomes a gazillionaire, but there's a very nice life between that and,
100%.
you know, the bottom of the rung.
And I always say, it is absolutely priceless to wake up in the morning, not having to be in an office, having your coffee, and go outside and just look at the sky and just have 1 hour to yourself. No one can pay for that. And then go back to work where you work at home. That is absolutely priceless. And I always say, you know, it's just worth the hassle just for that. Do not have a routine.
You know, and you have to change your environment to grow each business. Okay. So like we've just been in Africa, we've just been in Bali. We are now obviously meeting people in Zanzibar and cultivating the relationships over there, because that's where our home's going to be. That's a natural progression for us. Have we been before? Is it in our comfort zone? Of course not. Are there things we'd like to change over there? Absolutely. Will it change? Yes. Can we see the future? Yes. Can I picture how my home will look and what my life will look like? Absolutely.
Of course.
And I think the same when we get to Bali. Like this was the first time now that I really saw a life for myself and how it would look. And, you know,
And she loved it actually.
I did.
You really like it. And I was so happy to be honest, because I think Bali is very interesting. Bali, when you arrive, either you feel it or you don't feel it. The energy is so strong, and I felt that since the first moment we arrived. Caroline as well. Then we came back. It was a bit of a chaos trip because of the kids and the whole thing. And then now we were back, and I think Caroline had a different vision of Bali.
yeah, it was hard when I had like 3 sick kids there and all of these. Look, Bali has good parts and Bali has bad parts. But now I think, you know, they're fixing the bad parts. Like anything, to get in first is, you know, you're going to have teething problems anywhere you go. And again, being an entrepreneur means that you have to ride those waves, that you understand that you don't give up at those points. Because there were times that I'm like, don't show me another picture of the field. You know, how many times did I say that to you? And now...
Now you like to see the field because the field is actually built. And
yeah, now I like the field. Now I see it.
For any of you guys that has not been following the process, we are building the most unique luxury boutique hotel in Bali. It is absolutely magical. It is all about experiences, and we can't wait to share with you the process, because we are building something truly, truly beautiful.
And there you go. Look, there are some parts of that's an interesting process, because along the way, we didn't know if we were going to run out of money, because you've got to raise it. You've got someone else to believe in it, right? And in the meantime, whilst not running out of money. But I also had done an amazing job of saying to Sergio, I'm not going to put myself into a place where we have debt, or, it goes horribly wrong and we've got bills piling up. So I always knew that we did this in a way that if we hadn't raised the money, we could simply say, stop. Right now, stop. And everyone walks away and leaves it there till we raise the money. Or, we paused for a minute, or I don't know, we sold the land because it's already gone up. But there were ways out without me losing my home. And I think that was the one thing, I was really sure that I didn't want to be in a position where I had creditors or anyone that I owed again, after losing Gift Library, which was just so difficult. So I think, that gave me comfort to do something that I think I was uncomfortable doing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Caroline always says we could stop the machine. The truth is, no. We couldn't stop the machine. There's about 40 people in the land. They are full speed, so we cannot stop anything.
In my head, you could. Maybe he just tried to make me feel better.
Of course, I lied to her because that's what entrepreneurs do. You hustle and you go until the end, and you know that if you cannot make it to the next month, there's always going to be an option and a solution, because there's always a way. I always tell people, no matter what you're going through, if you believe so, there is always a way. And some of the biggest, most successful people in the world, they always say that.
And we showed so many people this project, and now we really, truly are excited about who's coming and what's coming.
It is super exciting, guys. I cannot tell you. We are going to build an empire. Izumi, here we come. It's going to be beautiful.
So would I change my life being married to an entrepreneur? No, because I built that entrepreneur. But you always had that entrepreneurial lifestyle.
Yeah, I always had it. I mean, I had months that were amazing, months that they were, bad. But it's really, you need to be built for it, like it's just part of, the journey of life. And I believe for me, I wouldn't have it any other way, because I just love the freedom that gives you. If Caroline and me just tells me, hey, let's pack our things and go today to whatever, we can do that.
And I think any other way, we probably wouldn't have such an amazing relationship, because
100% no.
More than the love, and on top of the love and the sex and the everything else, we have best friend chemistry, but we also have
discipline.
Yeah.
And, passion.
Work ethic.
And vision.
And
I think
vision
that's
together.
A very good point, actually. Like, you need to find someone where you have that best friend chemistry, but at the same time, you have the same vision, the same passion, and the same,
both dream about the same
discipline.
life at the end. So we both want the same things. We drew that house in Africa. We have drawn it. So we absolutely know every single room. Sergio has changed everything that he wanted. I put everything that I wanted. And so, there is no way to really shatter that dream. I know all of you are hanging on out there waiting for him to run off with some hot toddy. But
sounds amazing.
No. It
honestly, it's really all about having that best friend partnership and, friendship, sharing the same vision, discipline, and work ethic. And if you combine all that with the same passion, with a final destination in common, nothing can go wrong.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Uncut and Uncensored.
With Caroline Stanbury.
And Sergio.
Love you guys. Actually, don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. We're growing a lot, so bye.